Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another Sports Community Doing Sport Differently live stream. I'm Steve Pallas, and I can't believe it's taken us 20-odd weeks to get to roller derby. So joining me today is Samantha and Steph from the Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club. Sam, Steph, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Now, I cannot believe that it's taken 20 weeks to talk roller derby, because as soon as we say doing sport differently, that's just what comes to mind, roller derby, and it's just cool from every angle that you look at. So, first of all, Samantha and Steph is your day names. What's your roller derby names? Sam, you first.
Mine is Hells Yeah,
and I'm Germancheva.
Crunchema, which plays on both of your surnames. I love that about roller derby. So. But there's personas as well. So, and that's why the sport is so unique. It's so different. So first of all, tell us about the Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club. Where is it, and how long has it been around, and what got you the club started in the first place?
Sure. So we're based in Eltham, which is in the Diamond Valley area of the outer northeastern suburbs of Melbourne. We started up in 2011, and yeah, we've been, going ever since.
And so, Sam, roller derby, for those that are not familiar with roller derby, how would you best describe it?
I like to describe it as a mosh pit on wheels.
Mosh pit on wheels.
Yeah, because you're kind of bashing into people, but you're also wearing skates.
And you're also wearing skates, but you're also wearing costumes. You're also wearing makeup. Tell us a little bit about, or you may or may not be, but tell us a little bit about that and how that fits into the culture of roller derby.
So I think the costumes have kind of died out a little bit, but there's still the occasional little hot pant. But I'm very for the makeup. And my back bit is what we like to call it. So our team is the Valley Cat. So like I used to draw like the cat makeup or like the leopard kind of pattern. It's just kind of helps with the game day.
And the game face on, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And over the journey, I've been lucky enough to speak to a lot of roller derby clubs, and it's you kind of get to be whoever you want to be in roller derby, and it's fantastic. So give us a little bit of a profile. So you have to be 16 and above to be part of your club?
Yeah, we don't offer a junior program. So it's just the way our insurance works and things that you need to be 16 and older to be a member of Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club.
So Sam, how do you structure the participation options? You've got the roller derby competition team, and what leads into that and that participating in that roller derby?
So we offer a program which is called Skatefit, which isn't necessarily about roller derby. It's just encouraging people to get on wheels and learn how to skate, or getting back onto skates and trying to get that fitness back up. And then there's the option to take the roller derby path, so that we have about 5 levels. And once you tick off some boxes, then you can go up a level and eventually hit full contact roller derby.
So how long does that journey from I walk in the club to I'm confident and skilled enough to be able to participate in the roller derby sport itself?
It changes for everyone. So if you have been skating, you've got a skating background, it might only take you a couple of months, or it might take you a couple of years. Like it took me about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years to get to the full contact.
And I'm still at modified contact, and I've been trying for 2 years. So it's just, the whole thing is just to go at your own pace, to get the skills where you're comfortable, so that you get them ticked off, and then you're ready to go to the next stage. So we don't just throw you straight into the mosh pit from day one. No way, because that's not safe for anybody.
No, and it's not fun. One of the things that I did notice when and I'll bring your website up right now, when and for those that want to check out the Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club, it's www.dvrdc Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club, dvrdc.org.au. But one of the things that struck me right up front was that you're just looking at it's for men and women. And roller derby has traditionally been a female sport, which flies in the face of a lot of other stereotypes. But why the openness to engage men into the club, whereas a lot of other clubs don't necessarily go down that path?
I think it's just been an evolution. So when the current incarnation of roller derby came about 15 years ago, it started from the women's track, and it was kind of reviving the 1970s roller derby stuff, which was very female oriented. But that's what our club's about. Our club is about including everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, and that's what we do. So it's just I don't know. It's just the way it is.
And on that note, it's not just male and female. We're gender open to all genders, including non-binary folks. So
fantastic. And my apologies for that omission, because I think it's really important that's up front and making it a really inclusive and welcoming club. So that takes us to, give us a snapshot. How many people, how many members have you got within the club? Well, let's go pre-COVID first. How many members did you have pre-COVID, and has COVID added members to your club or interest in your club?
So I think we have about 40 members that are regular members, and then we also have additional maybe 20 Skatefitters who it influxes between terms. So if someone's just interested in doing it for summer term, then they might come back in winter. So yeah.
So I'm pleased to say also that we haven't lost any members, which I'm really, really proud about. So through COVID, we did a lot of stuff online and Zoom things and whatever to try to keep our community engaged. And I think it's a bit of a feather in our cap that as a club we've kept our membership consistent. And in fact, when we've restarted outdoor training, we've had so much interest that we had to cap the numbers. So it's been really cool.
So outdoor training, Steph, have you had people watching that, or has that been kind of in a closed school basketball court? Obviously outdoors, but is it in a public space where people can see it and go, what is that? Or a bit closed off?
We do it in a school, so we are a bit closed off. But the few people that do come to use the other basketball court at school or walk around the oval or whatever, everyone comes and watches, which is very, very cool. I'm thinking, what's going on down there? So, that's been awesome.
It does open up the thought of, should we be taking some of our indoor sports outside so people can see them more often? We had exactly the same discussion with a fencing club who weren't, with COVID restrictions, weren't allowed to go indoors, and then so they were forced to go outdoors into cricket nets, as it turned out. And they just had a ring of people who were just watching them, asking them to join and those sorts of things. So Sam, who is likely to join a roller derby club? Is there a type of person, or is it a younger person, older person?
I don't think we have a type. I don't think there's anything like that. Anyone is more than welcome to come. We have 16-year-olds through about 50-year-olds just skating, depending on what they want to do, what they want to get out of it. Doesn't matter. We're pretty welcoming, and yeah.
So how do you recruit your new members then?
So you saw our fantastic website, which is very professional, if I must say, for a sports club. And we're very lucky because we have a few professionals in our club that can help us with that. We also have a pretty good social media presence as well. So people can find us, which is really great, especially at the moment with COVID and all the interest in roller skating and things. So lots of people have found us that way. Look, word of mouth, all those sorts of things. We're also involved in the This Girl Can program as well. So we use that to our advantage as well for recruitment. But look, really our main method is through the Skatefit programs that we run every term. So, and like we say, it's not about, come, we want you to join the Derby team tomorrow. It's just about, hey, if you want to learn about skating or you already have been skating and you just want to keep it up and keep fit and all that sort of stuff, then come along to our Skatefit program and we can accommodate all of that for you.
We also have non-skating positions or opportunities in the club as well. So there's we need officials and referees and just members as well to cheer us on if we are playing games. So
all are welcome. Yeah, roller derby is actually a very heavy officiating sport. So it's 7 refs, isn't it, Sam?
7 refs and I think 9.
9 other officials keeping scores and tracking penalties and all this sort of stuff. So so there's there's a place for everyone. You don't have to strap on the skates if you don't want to.
So excuse me, Steph, you've only been in the club for coming up to 2 years. So what made you join a roller derby club?
Okay, so for me, I actually am a long time cross-country skier. And after I had my child, I thought, I've got to get something to get back into getting fit. And I thought, skating, we do a skating motion. That'll be good. So Skatefit, I'll give that a go. And that'll, get the muscles back working and all that sort of stuff. So that's how I joined. And then I got so much out of it. Before I knew it, I've been encouraged to go up the levels and, work my way up to playing derby. So I'm not full contact yet, but I'm getting there.
And what about you, Sam? What took you into probably the club first and then the sport, or vice versa?
Yeah, so there was a movie that came out about 10 years ago, which was called Whip It, which is all about roller derby, based in Texas. And that's pretty much the reason why I wanted to get involved. I was a little bit hesitant at the start because I used to rollerblade as a kid. And there was a bit of a transition from rollerblading to quad skates. So it did prevent me from doing it for about a year or two, which I really regret now, because if I just joined the club earlier, they would have been like, come on, we can teach you. It's all good. Don't stress. But since then, took me about maybe a year or two, to do full contact. And since then, I've just loved it. Like, roller derby is like my biggest passion.
I'm so glad that you just said that it took a year almost between when you made the decision to actually get involved. And one of the things we've been learning through the Doing Sport Differently, through all the different interviews with all the different clubs that are doing different sports in different ways, is the realization that step, that big step between I might have a go at this and actually walking in the door for the first time. Those of us that have been involved in sport for a long time don't realize how big that step is. And for you, that was a year and a half. So what was it over that journey that then got you to walk in the door for the first time?
I think it was just that I really wanted to be a roller derby player, and that I just had to take that next step. And then when I was there, everyone was so welcoming. I got a little welcome pack, I got a sticker, and I was like, I can't wait for the next session. Can it be tomorrow?
Yeah, and then you regretted the last year and a half. So Steph, how does the club, and you mentioned welcome packs and stickers and those sort of things, but this is a genuine challenge that clubs face, recruiting new people. And that's without asking them have to stand on 8 wheels and go around and not fall on your butt, which does 2 things that we dislike immensely as humans. It may hurt us, which is secondary, but it may embarrass us, which we do not like as humans. So how do you help people get over that gap?
Look, I think it starts right at the very first Skatefit session. So we make sure that we have extra club members there on that first day to welcome people in, make sure they're putting their protective gear on. So you've got to wear the full gear, helmet, elbow pads, wrist pads, knee pads, before you even start to put your skates on. So, just to help them, people get their pads upside down and all that kind of stuff. So we help them with that and, just help them along. That's cool. and just welcome them. And, so they already have some sort of friendly face assisting them. They're just not coming into this unknown environment, and they're expected to know how to put all the gear on and roll around. And then, you just encourage people if they haven't skated at all, just get up slowly, hold on to the side. That's totally fine. If you hold on to the side for the whole session, for the whole term, it doesn't matter. If you stand up on your wheels, you're doing better than someone who isn't. And that's, you just got to take each little win as it comes and encourage people like that. And that's how we do it.
And another thing is that falling is totally a part of roller derby. Like, I will fall over like 100 times in a game, and that's fine because you get back up and you keep going. So that is the first thing that we do tend to teach our newbies is how to fall and how to fall safely, so that when you do fall, it shouldn't be embarrassing. If anything, it's just teaching you. You're learning.
And you're bouncing up. Now, Sam, you use the terminology newbie, and I think it shows the evolution of the sport, because back a few years ago, newbie, that makes sense. But in the early days of roller derby and in some clubs, new people to the club were called fresh meat. And I think that shows the evolution of the sport as it's become a little bit more aware of the community, that some of it's changing actually quite significantly. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was a fresh meat person when I first joined, and I think that may have been a little bit of why it took me a little bit to join. So now it's more newbies or beginners or just skate fitters, just more inclusive language, which probably is more encouraging than calling someone fresh meat.
Well, and it comes, rock climbing's got a whole range of different terminology, speed rock climbing, that comes from the historical side that we're now seeing is that language is a barrier, because people want to see themselves doing the sport, but fresh meat implies that you're just going to see yourself being pummeled.
Yeah.
Which is nothing further from the truth. So the people that are running these Skatefit, so you said that is there instructors as well as the welcomers?
Yes, so we have accredited coaches that run a special program that, the basic thing is that every week we teach you a new skill, you practice the skill, we'll do like a fun kind of game with this that helps to solidify that skill, and it's all scalable and advanceable. I don't know what the right words are. So if you're just real basic beginner, that's cool. You can just stay at that level and perfect at that stage. If you already got the skills straight away, or you come from skating background already, there'll always be a way to advance it, maybe going backwards or on one foot or that sort of thing. And it's the same with the games that we play as well. They're not intimidating at all. It accommodates the range of levels that we're dealing with at the Skatefit level. And, we've got the music pumping and all that kind of stuff. So Skatefit is an hour of on-skate activity, and then half an hour afterwards doing fitness type of things as well, because it is skate fit. It's not just skate. So there's all the, it's a lot of core work with skating is very important. So we do lots of crunches and squats and planks and all that sort of good stuff as well. Lots of stretching and things at the end. And that's a good way at the end to, come together as a group and celebrate our achievements and acknowledge the advancements that we've made.
Yeah, I will definitely come to the social side of the sport in just a moment, because that's significant. But the program, you've talked a number of times about skate fit, do your own level, you progress through the levels, and then to roller derby. So did you have to create those programs, or were you able to adopt them from the peak body, or where did you get the programs from? Sam, probably go to you first on that one.
We're a part of Skate Victoria, and they provided the learnings. It was called QuadFit, and we adapted and we called it Skatefit. And that gave us like a general kind of plan.
Template, guidelines, yeah.
But in terms of roller derby, and the levels, they're more based off WIFDA, which is the overall roller. It's Women's Flat Track Derby Association, which is more based in the States.
Yep.
We use those to we implement those in our plans, and each club kind of does it a little bit differently, but they're generally follow the WIFDA rules.
Well, and that's kind of where I was going, is that there's a lot of resources for clubs that are looking to add different formats, different programs to their to what they already offer, which is typically that competitive side. A lot of the work's being done with the peak bodies, either worldwide, like what you're talking about with the athlete development, or that introductory level with the Skatefit. And I love the naming is just perfect, because it links into what people are looking to do. It's either they're looking to skate or get fit, and it's just perfect. So how many people would you have participants in a Skatefit class? You said you had to cap them.
Oh, that was just for COVID, but in non-COVID times, it's like 30 to 40, isn't it sometimes?
I think we can get to about 20. Just so it is easier to manage that, because we do have different levels in that 20 group.
Yep.
So sometimes we have an assistant coach as well for the term. So the main coach is kind of keeping everyone doing the same thing, and then we'll have an assistant just helping the newbies who need a little bit more encouragement.
And then you might have some additional people that are welcoming and just helping put on the pads and those sorts of things. So if we just say that there's 4 people, I mean, that's 1 to 5. That's a lot of support, isn't it? That are helping those that are new, lacking confidence, a little bit worried coming into the sport. That's fantastic, because that really helps overcome that barrier, isn't it? If they're in the door. What about? Do you get many people that come and watch for a period of time before they get the confidence to put the skates on?
I think when we hold events, like when we have the big roller derby tournaments, we tend to get some people having a look in and go, "Oh, I'm a bit interested in that." I think it's a come try and give it a go kind of scenario. People have come in for a session or two just to have a look, but it's usually we're having too much fun. They just want to get involved anyway.
Yeah, cool. Well, Steph, you're the secretary, so typically the social side often falls under the responsibility of the secretary. So the skate clubs are traditionally strong in skate, but they're very strong in social. Is that also true with your club?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think we try to make the most of the sessions that we have. So we get together in person twice a week, and especially on that weeknight where we run Skatefit, afterwards we have our members do derby training. And during that crossover time where the Skatefitters are cooling down and the derby training people are warming up, we do this thing where we get our members to go and approach one of the Skatefitters, particularly one they haven't spoken to yet, and just start talking to them. We'll give them a topic like, what did you eat for breakfast this morning, or something like that, or, are you a cat person or a dog person, just to get the conversation going. And I think that just helps for the newbies to find out more about who we are and the sort of people that we are, and ask whatever questions they want, and all those types of things. So we like to foster that.
That's a conscious, sorry to jump in there, Steph, but that's a conscious thing that your club does each training session, to build that bond between the experienced and the new. Yeah,
absolutely. And we have a number of Facebook groups and things like that. So we try to keep the communication going throughout the term and those sorts of things. And people can ask questions or post interesting things that we see from around the roller derby world or skating world or whatever. About once a term we do beers and bruises, which is where you go for drinks afterwards and talk about your bruises.
That's kind of the old school derby terminology. But
yeah, that's a bit of old school speak. But again, it's just get away from the rink and or the venue or whatever, and have a chat about whatever, that sort of stuff. There's also the whole social side when it comes to tournaments as well. So often tournaments are a whole weekend. Often they're regional place, as well. So you travel together, you stay together in a Airbnb or whatever, all together. There's there's usually a get together on the Saturday night as well with all the other clubs and participants and your opponents and everything. So it's a big social time, that one of those weekends. And whether you're skating or you're officiating or you're supporting or whatever, it's all in together, getting together and hanging out, and
it's amazing. Like, I never thought I would have had friends in Geelong to Gippsland to like Wimmera. Like, I have friends all over across Victoria because of roller derby now.
So how often would you do the tournaments?
So the main tournament that we're in is called Statewide Stampede, and there are 8 rounds. Sometimes they're double rounds, so they take up the whole weekend. So it's usually once a month, and the season's from about March to September.
Fantastic. Sorry.
Sorry, and then there are also just weekend tournaments, which might be interstate as well.
And do you have the opportunity? Is the pathway such that you're competing for national championships and then internationally if you chose to go down that path? Is it that developed yet?
There are state competitions, so it would be like Victoria versus New South Wales. That's less of a club kind of opportunity and more like a
representative.
Representative team. And there are also international competitions, so that's under the WIFTA bracket, but a different division to most of the Victorian leagues, to where about like Division 2, and then Division 1 is the international.
Sort of like Premier League, in football, soccer.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back to that point where you had the roller derby teams training after the skate fitters. Did you get many of the skate fit participants staying back and watching the roller derby team practice? And So
we also have a scrimmage at least once a term, which is just like a practice game that we get some of our newer club members to help out with. So they'll help officiate or referee. And that also helps them learn about roller derby.
Yeah, I think that the strategy of putting the new participants and then having the really experience straight after, so they get to see the sport, they get to see what is possible, but they also get to see the skills in action of which they've been learning that time, and plus the social side to which you were talking about and creating that connection. That's a really important strategy that we always encourage. So it's clearly worked out for your club really well.
Yeah, we think so.
So if you were encouraging clubs to start that social side of their sport, what are some of the tips that you would, I'm talking the Skatefit side there, what are some of the tips that you could give that would really make people come back that second and third time? What is it that you've learned on the journey? Sam, I'll start with you first.
Just to make it an encouraging environment, firstly.
I love the fact that you said encouraging, you normalise what can go wrong. So often the things, that's what we worry about the most, that we're going to look silly falling over or crashing, whereas you've said that's you've normalized that, and that's the first thing you teach, that's the first thing you expect, that's the first stigma you actually take away, that I'm not going to be able to skate, I'm going to fall over. You've made that all right. You've made failing perfectly okay.
Yeah. And I think also just giving them a space that they don't necessarily have to be or play competitively. Like, yes, some of our skate fitters will just continue to be skate fitters term after term after term. And that's totally fine because they have a place to be.
Yeah. And the club to belong to that wants them.
Yeah.
And what about you, Steph? What would be the thing that you would kind of, for your advice?
Yeah, I think I like to think that we've tapped into the prevalence nowadays for people to sort of recreate on their own sort of thing, or in their own time, in their own space, as opposed to having to follow a prescribed method. And, you know, it's training here and a game on Saturday, and that's all there is to it, sort of thing. So, you know, we call everybody a skater, and that's and how you express that as being a skater is up to you. We can provide you the environment and the skills and the encouragement and all those sorts of things. But our definition of a skater isn't a full contact a derby player like Sam. It can also just be a person who does penalty tracking at a game. That person is also a skater in our club.
And if they choose to wear cat makeup or they don't choose to wear cat makeup, then they're all so welcome, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful way to finish. So, Sam and Steph, thank you so much for sharing the wonderful journey that you've had at the Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're interested in roller derby and you live in the Eltham area and out of Melbourne suburbs, then why not check out their website, DVRDC, Diamond Valley Roller Derby Club.org.au. So I'm Steve Pallas. Ladies, thank you so much. And until next week when we do sport differently, thank you so much for being part of our sports community.